So have you learned anything crazy about yourself through this experience?
Yeah, I don't want to date 5 people at once.
There you go.
That's really hard. It's definitely.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Up. Today we're talking episode 12 of Farmer Wants a Wife. I am excited for this episode. I'm also excited for all you new and old subscribers. You guys are putting down some good comments, and we appreciate you for it. We also have a couple polls out there. Make sure you go there and vote. Some of them are really close.
That's right. And we're getting down to the wire here. I think we got maybe one more episode left, then maybe a reunion after that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So now we're exploring the other half of the women in their hometown visits.
That's right.
And of course, it starts off with Nathan, and he's visiting Taylor in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, my hometown, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to watch that.
Mm-hmm. You ever been to that place they go to?
No, I've never been there.
What is it called? Something I Declare?
I Declare, yeah. I think that was it, yeah. No, but the food, it looked all right, though. The food looked all right. I was looking at their plates. It's like, man.
Yeah, you always do.
That's right.
All right, so they're in like the hair salon or something, and they're giving him the business with the questions.
Yeah, but all her co-workers look just like her. They all got the freaking long blonde
really
hair. I was like, damn, which one's Taylor?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Nathan, he's always good, but, like, he's not as smooth this week as he was last week.
Not with the questions he wasn't, yeah. No, I agree with that.
Because they ask him some interesting questions that you know he's going to dodge, but sometimes he just, like, dodges and doesn't even answer them at all. Like,
yeah,
you ever told her you loved her?
Right, exactly. And, you know, and how do you even answer that, man? This ain't that type of show, even though they want you to believe it is. Like, you're not getting enough time with these women, you know, on a separate, you know, on a single level to really actually fall in love with somebody yet. I mean, you know, he answered, well, he's like, yeah, I think I'm falling for her, you know, which is okay, great. But like, are you completely in love with her yet? Yeah, probably not, you know, which I don't blame you. You know, you haven't had enough time with these people. But, you know, I mean, but you can start kind of getting that feel for it. But yeah, no, so, I mean, I don't even get why people ask that question. Have you told her you love her? Are you in love with her? You know, it's like, have you watched season 1 of the show? You see how the show goes? So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this show does not, it's not set up for that. It's set up for, you know, it's not Farmer Wants a Wife. It's Farmer wants to look for someone to possibly go on a second and third date with. That's all I see this show as. So the love question's kind of unfair.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, yeah, because in this show, I mean, we saw season 1, right? I mean, nobody got married. You know, I mean, hell, most of the relationships lasted like maybe a week or two, maybe 3 weeks after. I mean, you had Megan and freaking what's his name, and they lasted like 3 months, but nobody got married. There was no talk of marriage. I mean, it was like they dated and they said, all right, it's not going to work. You know, there was, I mean, so the Farmer Wants a Wife thing is kind of, yeah, they need to do something about that.
Yeah, so they kind of like ask if the tables were turned, would you move for Taylor? And he has kind of an awkward response to that question.
Because he totally did not understand that question. Like he took it as if like they're asking him right now, like, hey, would you be willing to move? And like, that's not what they're asking you, bro. They're asking you if the roles were reversed and she was the farmer and you were the woman, you know, would you want to, you know, would you make that move? You know, but that's not how he took it. So he was like, kind of got tensed up a little bit when he's trying to answer it. And
I'm sure he's stressed.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, whereas had he heard the question properly, I think it'd been much easier for him to answer.
Yeah, and, you know, I think this date goes pretty well with her family and friends and stuff, and she gets a kiss at the end. Now, not everyone gets kisses, so I wonder if that's pretty telling here, especially because Allye did not get a kiss. Now Taylor gets a kiss, so is that, if you get a kiss, are you essentially the chosen one?
Yeah, well, for these two, I think that is the case. I mean, you know, we talked about it last week. You could tell, like, when him and Allye were in their final moment together and they're sitting on that bench or whatever it was they were sitting on, and like one's looking one way, one's looking the other, and they're talking, but there was no real like, you know, chemistry there, you know, whereas with Taylor and Nathan, I think it comes pretty naturally, that chemistry. So I think in this, it's very telling.
Yeah, the other weird thing about this episode is last week we had 3 in-house kind of visits. This week, we don't really have any of them.
All restaurants, yeah.
Like Emerson, I think, is kind of on their family farm, but they don't go inside, and I don't even know where they start off if they're actually on the ranch or not. But
and Megan seemed like hers was kind of on a family farm kind of area too, you know. But yeah, we never saw Megan go to anybody's houses. But I mean, what did you think about this first date there, Ashleigh?
Yeah, I mean, the chemistry is there. I mean, this is probably one of the more obvious couples of everybody, I think. I like him with Allye, but he just has the chemistry with Taylor. I also like him with Taylor too, so.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't go wrong either way, but the chemistry's definitely more there with Taylor for sure.
Yeah, so now we move on to Mitch, and he's in L.A. where it looks gorgeous.
Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah, love that L.A. weather, man. I mean, I lived in San Diego for 7 years, and that was nice.
And they're at some kind of restaurant, almost similar to Nathan last week, near the water, overlooking the water and stuff like that. So what'd you think about this date?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I thought that date went well. Her friend kind of, got to pull him aside and give him a little, a little
Shayna.
tough. Yeah, Shayna. Yeah. She got to question him a little bit, and I think he sold her on it. So I think overall he did pretty well in that setting there.
Yeah. Now once again, there's no kiss at the end, and they are in the perfect situation to call for a kiss because they're watching the sunset. They're on like a blanket and they're snuggling, but no kiss.
No, and she was giving him all the cues too, man. And again, I've said this about Mitch before. This dude kind of likes the woman to take the initiative most of the time, even though with Sydney he seems more comfortable in doing so. But with Taylor, I mean, she was looking at him, giving him the cues like "kiss me," and he just didn't bite, And then she ended up laying her arm on his shoulder or some shit, But yeah, it was. I mean, all the moment was there. It was ripe for him, ripe for the taking, and he just didn't do it.
Yeah.
You say she was giving him all the cues. I actually think he was giving her all the cues because, like you said, he's not really one to take that initiative as far as that move goes. He kept saying how it was a beautiful day, a beautiful sunset. She was beautiful, and like looking at her, like I was just waiting for the two to lean in together, and I feel like if she had just leaned just a little bit, that maybe he would have had gone in, but I don't know. Unless it's an editing thing, it was awkward because I was waiting. It was the perfect scene for it, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you know what? You're right. I'm with you on that too because he was definitely giving her the cues as well, right? But at the same time, it's like, come on, bro, just lean in and get it.
Yeah, and they were alone. It's not like they're near the family or anything like that. So it was the perfect opportunity. Now Sydney got one. She didn't. That concerns me a little bit with her.
Yeah.
So, but we move on to Brandon, who's in Iowa to visit Emerson and her family. I really liked her family here.
Oh, yeah, her family was great, and that farm was great. He was loving it, man. His eyes lit up. He's like, damn, this is nice.
And the thing about Brandon to me is he comes off the most genuine out of everyone. And I get like Nathan, I like him. He's a good guy, but like I do think he says the right things to what the kind of family wants to hear, even for like a girl he's not going to choose. I think Brandon is more open, honest, and just comes more natural and genuine.
Yeah, this week I would totally agree with you on that, man. I mean, Brandon, it never appeared that he was on the hot seat. He was completely open and honest. He just, the questions came and he just flowed right through them and, just answered them best he could, honestly. I mean, he wasn't taking the time to think about it. You didn't see that look on his face like, oh, how should I answer this? Nah, I'm with you on that. He definitely, he did very well this week.
And this poor guy's a potato farmer, and they're serving him potatoes. So I'm like,
everybody loves mashed potatoes, man.
That is true. I'm a mashed potato fan too, but I don't know if I want to eat potatoes all the time. So I thought that was a little funny.
Yeah, that was funny. But I don't know. As far as him and Emerson goes, I think this is another one of those scenarios where Emerson wants, she grew up like in a farm ranch like kind of life, and I think she wants that life, but I don't know that she wants Brandon himself. So I have a hard time seeing that with these two.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on that. Like early on when they were together, man, she was like all over him, giving kisses all the time and stuff. But lately, we haven't really seen that.
Yeah, we haven't seen that passion.
Yeah, she's been more distant. That passion hasn't been there. So I'm kind of with you on that. Maybe Brandon just not made the lifestyle's right for her, but maybe Brandon just ain't the right dude for her. Maybe she's starting to kind of figure that out herself. I don't know. But.
Yeah, I did get a little bit different vibe that she's ready for this, and not probably because she actually says that and stuff, but like I think her body language kind of said like, "Hey, I'm ready to be chosen by Brandon and give this a shot."
Yeah, I could see her doing that. I mean, yeah, because like we said, obviously this ain't about getting married, even though it's called Farmer Wants a Wife. It's like, hey, who am I going to date for a little while and see if I really want to finally have something with? So yeah, I could see her totally doing that and saying, you know what, I might not be completely into this guy, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that.
And she gives Brandon a tour of the farm, and I think he's sold. Yeah. He's ready to move in with her right, instead. So
yeah, hell yeah, he was. Man, he was like, damn, he's loving it.
Yeah, and I think he lives with dad on his dad's farm, so maybe he'll move in with her.
Yeah, it ain't his farm, and his mom and pop's farm. Exactly. He can just say, all right, you know what? I think I'm going to go over here to Iowa.
Now, again, the kind of concerning thing is they're hanging out together and there's no kiss. And we've seen them, as you said, passionately kiss before, but no kiss here. And I think their feet might slightly touch on this, so that's all you get.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, like I said, I think Ashleigh kind of hit the nail on the head there. I think maybe she's starting to feel that maybe he's not the right guy. But like you said, I think she's still definitely wanting to give it a shot and kind of see if it's one to work.
But I do think she was trying to, like, get close with him more than he was with her at this point.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he didn't even like go in, and I'm sure she would at least kissed him, but
I think had he tried to kiss her, yeah, she probably would have kissed him. No doubt.
So next we move on to Ty, and he's visiting Megan in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he gets asked some hard questions. I think he gets like real hard questions, not just softball questions.
Yeah, this is the first time somebody's asking that age gap question, I think. Which is a legitimate question.
And there's an 11-year age gap, so the mom's like, what's up with the age gap? Like, is that an issue or what?
Right, and he's like, well, age is just a number, right? Two people are in the same place on the same road together and it's working out and they're going in the same direction, then it's okay.
I did not like that response. He wasn't like, look, I get there's an age gap, but I'm madly in love with your daughter or something. Like, he never says anything. Like, matter of fact, when asked about love, he's like, I think that takes time. Right. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Right. Well, but I think that's a good answer because in this show, I think that's a good answer, and I think it makes sense. And now the whole, on the same path thing, whatever, that's bullshit because it's obvious at this point he doesn't want kids. Everybody asks him about the kid thing.
That comes up.
He's like, oh, it's a gray area, but bro, it ain't gray, it's black. For you, that's a black area, and just come out and say it, man. There's nothing wrong with that, But I mean, because he flat out mentioned, he was like, look, if I had a kid today, 42, I'd be 60 when that kid graduates high school. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. I completely get that. Nothing wrong with saying that, nothing wrong with feeling that, but you just need to be open and honest about it and say, look, I just don't want kids. And, these women are like, I think I can make him change his mind, or maybe I'd be okay, but they really need to really think that out themselves as well. And really think, like, this guy's hell-bent on not having kids. Am I okay with that?
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned that these guys have not been together that long. You should be in that madly in love, smitten kind of phase. And I just don't see that from Ty with anyone, really. So,
I mean, I haven't seen him with anybody, really, because they don't give him that type of opportunity. You're splitting your time between all these women, and you're trying your best not to show too much love for one because you don't want to piss the others off. So, I mean, the opportunity's not there. I mean, what do you think about that, Ashleigh?
It's with all these couples, but like for this one specifically with Megan, I think this is another one of those scenarios where she sees Ty, he's established, he's got this career, this ranch or farm, whatever it is he has, and the daughter, he has a life that she wants and she wants to just fit in perfectly. But she's looking past all the things that she actually wants in the bigger picture, like kids. She's pretending like maybe she won't need them or won't want them in the future. But if she came in here saying, look, I've never said I wanted to have kids, being a bonus mom is fine with me. That's all I ever really wanted out of life anyway, then that's fine. But to sit here and be on the fence at age 31 when he's 42, what's going to happen 5 years from now? And she realizes, oh no, I really wanted a kid of my own. Like, that's going to be a problem. And I think at this point in time, she just wants to be chosen and she just wants the lifestyle. And she's kind of putting the red flags of that down. Not that he's a red flag for not wanting kids, but it is for what she wants in her future, I think.
Right. And I see too, because even her mom, when she was talking to him, she was like, look, I know my daughter and she, she's mentioned before wanting kids, so. Yeah, and so you're right with Megan saying that. It's like she, again, like I said, she needs to take a really good hard look at herself and like, okay, am I really into this? Am I really going to want to be with a guy who might never want kids, never want another kid? Am I cool just being, a stepmom or bonus mom, whatever they call it nowadays?
She says it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah, for now, we'll see. But then, and again, at the same time, this goes back to the beginning, right? It totally is. But this goes back to the beginning, like, why the hell are they freaking, hooking up a 42-year-old man with a kid with a bunch of women in their 20s and early 30s? It's like, where are the women that are in their late 30s or early 40s that maybe have a kid themselves? You tell me none of those women applied for this show? Because I'm sure there are probably some that did. It's like, so why aren't you throwing those kind of women on his farm who probably would be okay with not having any more kids?
Yeah, for a show that brags about the success. I mean, like, for one, you're not really setting them up in an environment that would be conducive to, like, a strong relationship. Yeah. Like, why are you getting... you can't find women from like close to the same town. I mean, there's one of these women that's in Tennessee, and we have a farmer in Tennessee, but they're not hooked up.
Right.
And why is that? I don't know. They're actually closer in age than these two are. So that makes me wonder a little bit, like how they chose some of these people. And there's not a single woman on Ty's farm that has a kid of her own that's like in her 40s in the same kind of boat. Like, you should at least have one in that scenario. So get people that are closer, get people that have more common interests. Like if you know that's a red line for Ty kids, then you should have paired him up with women that are like-minded in that issue. Right,
exactly. I mean, have you watched a video? You watched the freaking Australia version? Is there something that we're missing here?
I would love to get some feedback from someone who has watched that show, because when they tout the success of this show, like when at the opening they're like one of the most successful shows, obviously the American version isn't, but the Australian version is. So what does the Australian version do that the American's not doing? Are the contestants like more co-located, like you're suggesting? Do they do better with trying to find someone like similar like views and goals in life? What is it that they're doing that we're not doing?
Yeah, because I mean, there's some kind of secret sauce that Australia has that's working that they're just not bringing over to the American version.
Yeah, it could be a cultural thing. Who knows? I am curious myself, because I mean, you can't lead off with bragging about this and then never make a couple. Right, you know. So I mean, there's not too many shows besides just like hookup shows that end up like that. Normally, ones where you have to get married or something. There's some couple that makes it work every season.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this season, I mean, this show so far in the American version just ain't happening.
All right, so rapid fire. Who do you think they're going to choose?
Ty. I mean, after watching these last ones, I think Ty is probably going to go with Megan, just because last week he mentioned how, you know what, man, I just see Melody here in New York. I see how comfortable she is with her family, you know, just with her ice skating and social life, and I would feel bad pulling her out of that. Whereas Megan wants more of the similar lifestyle that he has. You know, she kind of lives that lifestyle already, right? So I think he would probably choose Megan now after watching these, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to end up with either one of them. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to work with either one of these women, but I think he would probably choose Megan. You know, as far as Nathan goes, that's an easy one, Taylor. You know, I mean, the chemistry's there, you know, the vibe's there between those two. You know, they're both just, you know, they're cute together, right? They're just a cute little couple. I mean, Nathan can go wrong with either girl. I mean, Allie's an amazing girl too, but I think he's totally going Taylor on this one. Brandon, that's a tough one, man, because you know, I think chemistry-wise,
that might be the toughest one, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think chemistry-wise, man, him and Grace are like, they're on the same page, right? Like, you know, they just fit very well together as a couple. And whereas I don't quite see that with him and Emerson, but lifestyle-wise, though, Emerson fits into that lifestyle, right? And the kind of lifestyle that he wants, whereas Grace doesn't, and he mentions that. So I think that's gonna be a tough one. I think he's probably gonna pick Grace, but you know, yeah, but you know, and if he does, I don't think it's gonna work long term.
All right, Ashleigh, who do you got?
Agree. Brandon should and will probably pick Grace. I don't know that it won't work. I think I can see that working unless her moving away from the family becomes an issue. Nathan, yeah, definitely Taylor. I like Allye. I like him with Allye, but the chemistry is just there with Taylor. Mitchell and Sydney. I mean, Sydney's just more of a buddy. She's a hunting buddy. She's a party friend. She's young. She's not ready to be a wife. And I don't think I have a hard time seeing them as like life partners. So I really like Mitchell with Kait. His mom likes Kait. You know, that's an advantage there. And Ty. Honestly, I think you should pick Melody. Something about Megan just bothers me. I think she's more really into wanting to be chosen. I think she has something that says, I just need you to choose me, versus actually looking at the big picture of the relationship. And I think Melody would at least give it a chance. But either way, I don't see either one of those working out.
Yeah, again, if you haven't voted, go to our poll and get your vote in, because I'm looking at these numbers and like the biggest one is Taylor, which I think is an easy one. Nathan and Taylor, like that's pretty much a lock. But some of these other ones aren't even that close, like Ty and Megan. That's a really high number, and I'm kind of surprised by that, because I actually chose Melody, and like
I did as well.
I think Megan is a better pick for him, and I think that has a higher probability of working. But I don't really see either one working. I could see him choosing Melody, and then the kid thing comes up, and Melody's already made it kind of clear she gets what she wants, and I don't think that's going to sit well with Ty. So I think that's going to blow up if he chooses her. But But I think like she is kind of like the more exciting, fun one in this scenario, and
yeah, and
that's who I would choose.
Yeah, when with Mitchell, I didn't mention my Mitchell pick, but I'm kind of with you on this one, Ashley. I mean, I think him and Cindy do have some chemistry, but I think at the end of the day, it would be more of a friendship type, relationship. Even though I could see them potentially working, but she's young. She hasn't had any real serious relationships in the past, so that could end up coming into play here. And whereas Kait, I think, like we said, I mean, Kait, the chemistry is there. He just doesn't take advantage of it like he does with Sydney. So if he would take advantage of that and actually just move in for the kiss and stuff like that, I think those two would be fine. So I'm kind of with you. I mean, I'm kind of hoping maybe that he'll go the Kait route, but it's not going to surprise me at all if he does go Sydney.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement. I think he chooses Sydney, but I do have some concerns that because she hasn't had a long-term relationship, she's young, she wants to travel. So I think Kait is actually a better pick for him, but I think he's kind of locked in already with Sydney. So I don't think he's going to choose Kait, but it'd probably be a smarter choice, honestly, for him at this point. And then, like, Brandon, to me, is the tough one.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, between Grace and Emerson, that's, like, really close. But I think he should choose Emerson and kind of see how that goes. And I think Emerson's willing to do that. And I don't know if it really works long term, but I think they should at least give it a go because she looks like she's ready for that kind of lifestyle. And if she's into him, which, we get mixed signals a little bit, I mean, because how passionate they were in the beginning, and that seems to have faded a little bit. So I hope she didn't lose her attraction to him. But I think they should at least date and give it a go. And I'm picking Emerson for that one. So.
All right. Well, there you have it, everybody. You heard our picks. Now let us know yours. I know some of you guys have already voted. Some of you haven't because you're waiting for this last episode, which rightfully so. We definitely got to see some stuff this last episode. It's like, oh, maybe I'm changing my mind a little bit. But hey, we love doing this for you guys. And as always, hit that like and subscribe, and we will check y'all in our next review.